gonna start this month with a record favorite, and it is Love Is Real by Jarmusch. And I actually have just about every single record of Jarmusch, but Love Is Real is my favorite because I like it just from beginning to end. If you don't know of Jarmusch, he's kind of avant-garde, post-punk, synthwave, kind of. His music's very kind of droning, but it's also very political and philosophical, and he plays a lot of keyboards and synthesizers. He played the keyboard for Panda Bear and Ariel Pink. And the reason I found out about Jarmusch is through my friend Kwa, and he played this album called We Must Become the Pitiless Censors of Ourselves. It's like a mouthful, but he played a couple songs from that album, or maybe he played one song, and I remember listening to it because he used to have a post-punk night, and I remember listening to it and just being like, wow, this is amazing. So I went home, looked up Jarmusch, and I went through the entire catalog and found this album, and I really enjoyed it from beginning to end. Let me walk you through it. Love Is Real. So the first track is called Heaven Is Real, and it starts off almost like, if you guys remember Gem and the Holograms, the cartoon from like the 80s, it starts out with a lot of like synthesizers and like keyboards and like a drum beat. It starts out really 80s, and it's just really funny, and then his voice kind of hovers in, and it's very godly, where it's kind of echoey, but then it transitions seamlessly into the next song, which is Do Your Best, which is a beautiful song. I think it's my favorite song on this album. And then the next song after that is Rights for Gays, which is like a really like workout, fast-paced song. And then the song Navy Seals is one of my favorite songs. It's just an instrumental, you don't hear his voice at all. But it's totally something I listen to when I'm like cooking or washing the dishes or something like that. Something that I can listen to just so I can think, but you can really get into it and like really jam out to it. So Navy Seals, definitely check that one out. And then you just kind of shuffle through the rest of the record, but the second to last song is called Old Town. And it's so funny because when I was in my early 20s, or even like late teens, I was dating this guy, or I went out on a few dates with this guy who was so cripplingly enthralled by all forms of art. Like, he loved everything about music, about film. Like, I learned so much from him. And I was studying film at the time. He was really into Alejandro Jodorowsky, who's the guy who did Holy Mountain and like a bunch of other movies. He made me sit down and watch each and every single film, which I had already planned on watching in film, but he gave me his perspective of it, and he was just a really interesting person. He never went to college or anything like that, but he was just so absorbed by all forms of art. But anyway, this is totally something he would be into, the song called Old Town. But I remember the first time I heard it, I was just like, holy shit, that's so him, because he introduced me to like a slew of bands that all sound exactly like this one song. So if you listen to it, it's kind of like drony and kind of like lo-fi. I don't really know how to describe it, but you just kind of have to listen to it, and then you'll kind of understand who I'm talking about here. The reason why I brought him up is because I went through that, like the few dates that we went on, I went through all that without contributing anything to that relationship. And I feel like if I can do it again, I would introduce him to this album. Maybe he would already know about it, but just the song is so him. But anyway, back to the album, Love Is Real. So Times Is Weird is an amazing song too, and it just finishes up the album with like a really kind of like upbeat, dancey tune. So give him a listen. You might not be into it if you're not really into like that type of music. If you hated Ariel Pink, some people, after I made this suggestion, was like, what the fuck were you thinking? If you hated that, you wouldn't like it. But if you liked Bip, something that I recommended a while ago, I know a lot of people were really into that. If you like that, you might enjoy this. This is Jarmusch, Love Is Real. So the next thing I want to talk about is a film. And if you guys know, I used to study film when I was in college, and I just got kind of burnt out after working in film for a while. It just wasn't what I thought it would be. And so I kind of just like stopped watching everything, kind of stopped learning anything about film, stopped reading books about it, and I don't know, it just wasn't interesting to me anymore. But then the other night, my boyfriend put on this movie called Down by Law, which is by Jim Jarmusch. It's all in black and white, and it was shot in 1986, so you can get an idea of what it's like. The reason why it caught my attention was because at the beginning, all the shots were just so well done, so beautifully done, and it was like with music, panning through, without music, panning through, and it was just shots of New Orleans and like the streets, and it reminded me a lot of my neighborhood, so it just caught my attention. It was just unlike anything I've seen in a long time, but it very much reminded me of what it was like to be in film. like just totally being captured by this image, you know? And it wasn't even the plot or like the actors or anything like that, and they have a truly amazing cast, but it was just the shots. It really caught my attention, and it made me really want to go back to school and get my master's in film or something. I want to like eventually, I think I want to eventually be a film teacher, you know, like a film 101 teacher or something like that. It just made me really miss film. But anyway, it's about 3 dudes who don't know each other. They're not associated with one another in any way, but they get in trouble. So then they were sent to prison and placed in the same cell. So it's Tom Waits, which is amazing. And then John Lurie and Roberto Benigni, who's the guy who did, what's that movie, Life is Beautiful, which is the movie about the Holocaust. And yeah, so they were placed in the same cell, and it's just about them, and it's really funny, has a great sense of humor, the commentary is amazing. I don't know why I've never heard of this film before, because Coffee and Cigarettes is one of my favorite movies, and it's also by Jim Jarmusch. I used to go through this phase where I would geek out about one director and watch everything, you know, the entire catalog. But for some reason, Jim Jarmusch, I never really got into him, although I loved Coffee and Cigarettes a lot, and I love the idea of it, how it was shot over a series of like, I think 15, 20 years or something like that. It's just like dialogues from 15, 20 years. That has nothing to do with this movie that I'm talking about. Down by Law. Down by Law, the reason why I like it so much is because the music was very well done. And I love Tom Waits, and everything was shot in black and white, and you guys know how much I love shooting things in black and white. I think the reason why I like this movie so much is because it didn't look like it took any time to make the film, like the post-production. I mean, the editing was like very simple, and the music was very simple, and there were no really crazy costumes or anything like that. So it was very real and very easy and very much do it yourself. So I think that's why I like it so much. So yeah, check out the trailer. I put it right down below, and if you like it, let me know. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Next thing I want to talk about is this right here, and it's a candle from Foxhound collection, and it's this girl, Kelsey Ware, who I follow on Instagram, and she makes these candles. They're hand poured, and they're 100% soy, so I guess it's better for you, right? There's no like soot or whatever, and it smells amazing. It's lavender and linen, so it's like my 2 favorite smells together in one candle, and it's just a very clean scent. And I've been burning this just about every morning for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, and it doesn't seem to make a dent at all, so it's been lasting quite a while, and I love it. I love the jar. It's just so nice and clean looking, and even like the label's nice and clean. It's just so fresh, you know? Like every time I put it on, I feel like I just did a load of laundry. So what I do is in the morning, I wake up, go to my bathroom, and I always have this in my bathroom. I'll light it and then kind of let it go for about an hour or so when I'm getting ready, when I'm doing my makeup and stuff like that. And then when I leave and come back to my apartment at the end of the day, it still smells somewhat like this. So it's very nice, and this little candle fills up my entire apartment, and it only takes about like an hour for the entire apartment to smell like clean laundry and lavender. So way to go, Kelsey. I really love this. I think she sells this on her Etsy page, so I'll link it right down below. Something amazing that happened that made me really giddy was that Sarah from Glossier sent me a package, and it looks like this. And it's just so beautiful, and as soon as I open this package up, you know the feeling that you get like when you're like 13 and you're doing like face masks, you're painting your nails with your sisters or your cousins or your friends or whatever, and you're reading like Jane magazine, and you're just flipping through and gossiping and doing all these like magazine quizzes for teens and stuff. I felt like that, and it just felt so amazing. I felt like I was at a sleepover, although I was alone. Actually, my friend Val and I did this the other day. So let me just start by telling you what I got. I got the Mega Greens Galaxy Pack, which is a detoxifying face mask, and it's meant to be used along with this. So you're supposed to use the green mask first and then this mask afterwards, which is the moisturizing moon mask. I know they're sold separately, but I was told to use them together, and I tried using them separately. I tried using this one in the morning and then this one at night, and to be honest, I feel like when you use this one by itself, it kind of strips your skin so much that you need something to sink back in, you know, to like re-moisturize your face and like thoroughly kind of just like saturate it with like a really nice nourishing cream. So this pulls out everything. It pulls out all the grossness, and this kind of sinks in and kind of just nourishes your skin. So I do highly recommend putting these two together or selling them as a kit. I think they were doing a promo on that, but if I were to buy this again, I would definitely just buy it as a kit. But they both smell super amazing and they leave your skin so soft. And then the next thing I got was the Phase 1 kit, which came with a rose water spray and a priming moisturizer and this thing, which is the Perfecting Skin Tint, which is almost like a tinted moisturizer. And then I also got the Balm.com, which is really the Balm.com. It came with a cute lighter that says Glossier on it, so that's pretty cool. And then it also came with these really cute bubble mailers. They're pink. I got like 3 of them, so I've been using them as my makeup bag. And then it came with a bunch of stickers too, which I haven't used because I just like it the way it is. The packaging is beautiful the way it is. So because I was so excited about this, I've been using the Phase 1 kit every single day, and then I've been using the masks like maybe every 4 days. And it's been doing the trick. So for my daily routine, what I do is I wash my face with a cleanser, and then immediately afterwards I spray this on, which is a soothing face mist. I spray it everywhere and then kind of let it soak in for a little bit, and then put this on, which is a priming moisturizer. I just do a little dollop and kind of just spread it out everywhere, and because I did this first, it kind of spreads out super easily. And then right afterwards, I shake this up, and then I'll apply this onto my hands and then rub it in with my fingers. I've tried applying it with a brush because I thought, well, applying it with your fingers would be kind of gross because I never really apply foundation with my fingers. But truly, applying it with your fingers is the best because it really absorbs everything, or it really makes everything kind of blend in. Then after that, I'll mix this with a little bit more concealer if I need it, and just dot it around like areas where I think I need it. And then I use the Balm.com for just about everything. I use it on my lips, on my brow bone to highlight, on my cheekbone to kind of highlight a little bit, on my eyelids to make it look a little bit more dewy. And I love this stuff, so I usually just carry this in my purse. I should just buy another one. I think I'm gonna do a get ready with me video because a lot of people have been requesting it on like my Tumblr questions. So I'm gonna be featuring this for sure because I've been using this every single day and I love it so much, and I really just want you guys to see what it's like to actually go through the phases and all the steps and everything. So the reason why I'm holding this is because so at my work, we use like, you know, just like any other job, like you have this like water cooler system, it's like Arrowhead or whatever, and there's all these like paper cups that kind of pile up, and what you do is you pick one out, and then, I mean, you know, everyone drinks water from a freaking water bottle thing. But the thing is, I don't like using paper cups, and I don't really like wasting cups and stuff like that, so I've been bringing my own cup, and this is something that I've had for almost a year now, maybe even longer than a year now, but I got it from this store in Laguna, and it's like a menswear store. It's called North Menswear, which is like camping goods and stuff like that. But this is just a steel pint, so it's just a steel cup, and it's great because I'm totally accident prone. Like I drop so many cups and so many glasses, and that's why most of the things I buy, like everything that I drink water out of, like jars and stuff like that, they're all like thrifted or all recycled because I drop and break so many of my dishes and cups and stuff like that. So this is amazing because I've been using this for quite some time. I think it was like around $12 or $15 or $18. I don't quite remember, but I've been using it so much that it's totally worthwhile. And it's from this brand called Klean Kanteen, or yeah, Klean Kanteen, and it's called the Steel Pint. Yeah, I'll link where you can find it down below. I think everyone should really look into this, and if you're using those paper cups every single day, I think you should really just think about it. Like think about all the paper cups that kind of stack up and everything. Alright, so I know that I've talked about something like this before in the past, but I thought I'd bring it up again because I've been wearing it so much lately, and it's a base range, just a bra. It's just a soft bra, and it's made of like bamboo. It's so soft and it feels like so comfy. You can seriously sleep in this because it feels so amazing. And I got this from 11th Moon, which is the e-com site that I worked on, and it's still available, so check it out. This is just such a standard because I have a black version of this bra, but it's in it's actually called the triangle bra, and I got it from Shop Enomi, and it's a bra. It's totally something you have to wear either way, so I highly suggest it. So in my last video I talked about my hair routine. I wasn't really taking care of my hair that well. I know I wasn't using heat protectant or anything like that, and I felt kind of bad about it, and so I started using this. This is Living Proof Nourishing Styling Cream, and it's supposed to like stop frizz, which is my #1 problem, because the only reason why I curl my hair to begin with is because I'm trying to fight off the frizz, because if I don't do it, I get more or less of a triangle head. So what I do is I shampoo and condition my hair. It did come with like a shampoo and conditioner, but I use it up in like two showers because my hair is so thick that it just absorbs everything. It was alright, it smelled really good. It's just a memory that passed way long ago. So I've been using this, which I could probably squeeze out about a quarter size amount, and I kind of run it through the ends of my hair and kind of let it just dry on its own. I kind of just sleep on my hair. The next morning I'll wake up and my hair is nice and dry, and it's usually kind of just flat, not really frizzy or anything like that. So then I'll curl it really quickly, and then it's been very humid here lately, so this is perfect. This is the Humidity Shield like hairspray. It prevents frizz, blocks humidity, and weightlessly protects any style. And that's exactly what it does, because it's been so crazy humid lately that my skin will get kind of oily and my hair will get kind of flat and then also frizzy at the end. So what I do is after I curl my hair, I kind of like put my head over and spray this, and it smells so good. This is like a fragrance on its own. And because of this, my hairstyle will last like 3 to 4 days, which is really awesome. Like it won't get kind of greasy up top or flat or anything like that, which I really like. So it makes my days a lot easier. I just put on a shower cap, take a shower, and then go. So it's pretty awesome. So I highly recommend this. It smells amazing. It's sold at Sephora, so you can just like try it out and like see how it goes and then commit to it later, which is usually what I do. Yeah, so that's about everything for this month. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you have any questions, please link them down below or ask me on my Tumblr. I'll see you guys later. Bye.